spend so much of our time trying to baby-proof our lives. If you are a mother, or honestly, if you are just a bit of a control freak like me, you want the itinerary. You want to anticipate every bump, fix every problem before it happens, and have a perfect blueprint for the future. We try so hard to organize the chaos. But the truth is, you can't schedule a storm. There is a fascinating psychological study from University College London that proves just how much we hate the unknown. Researchers found that human beings would actually rather know for sure that they are going to get a painful electric shock than sit in the suspense of not knowing if it will happen or not. Think about that. We crave certainty so deeply that we would rather guarantee our own pain than sit in the uncomfortable reality of the unknown. But life doesn't give us guarantees. And that brings me to Luke chapter 8. I was listening to a pastor who blesses me so much yesterday at night, and he completely changed the way I look at this verse. You see, before hearing it yesterday, I was always so focused on the power of Jesus to calm the storm that I completely overlooked the story of Simon Peter on that boat. But after yesterday, I saw myself in Simon Peter. I saw him in the life of a friend of mine who is fighting, tooth and nail right now, to keep his marriage alive. And I believe that Peter is you today. And that's what I want to focus on today. You. Listen to what actually happened on that water. Let's read it together. One day Jesus said to his disciples, "Let us go over to the other side of the lake." So they got into a boat and set out. As they sailed, he fell asleep. A squall came down on the lake, so that the boat was being swamped, and they were in great danger. The disciples went and woke him, saying, "Master, Master, we're going to drown." He got up and rebuked the wind and the raging waters. The storm subsided and all was calm. "Where is your faith?" he asked his disciples. Can you imagine being Peter in that moment? Remember, Peter was not a passenger. He was a professional fisherman. He knew the Sea of Galilee like the back of his hand. He had sailed those waters 1,000 times. He made his living managing the wind and the waves. He thought he had control. So for Peter, a hardened, experienced sailor, to be pushed to the point of absolute panic, screaming, "Master, we are going to drown," that wasn't just a heavy rain. That was a complete and utter loss of control. Imagine him running around that deck. He is frantic. He is grabbing buckets, trying to bail out the water. He is pulling on ropes, shouting at the others, doing everything in his human power to fix the situation, while Jesus is just sleeping in the stern. Peter was doing exactly what we do. He was trying to manage the chaos. And you know what is so funny, and honestly sometimes a little wild, about how God operates? It can be so incredibly hard to understand his ways, because God is not big on detail. When Jesus said, "Let's go to the other side," he gave them the destination, but he led them without telling them exactly where the turbulence was going to hit. And isn't that life? Tell me. Really tell me. Is life not this way? Everything starts off good. Babies are cute until they are not. Some call it the terrible twos. Others call it the terrible threes. But at the end of the day, when they are calm, you can't understand how that cute human being gives you a taste of both emotions so effortlessly. A flight begins calm. Your marriage started out great. A new pregnancy starts with joy. But the chaos, the storm, the turbulence, they always come right in the middle. And absolutely nothing prepares you for that. Even if you listen to your favorite pastor, or to that podcast you can't go a day without, it can never truly prepare you for the crisis, for the storm that hits you in the middle of the journey. And right there, just like Peter, you have to decide, do I cross over, or do I panic, freeze, and turn back? But no matter what, God knows the other side. You don't know it yet. He hasn't given you all the details, but he knows. And guess what? He knew even before you were formed in your mother's womb. He knew the school you would attend. He knew the friends you would have. He even knows the number of hairs on your head. God knew all of that. So, it doesn't matter whether you are a Democrat or a Republican. It doesn't matter whether you are divorced or whether you are married. It doesn't matter whether you believe in God or not. Whether you are tall or short, white or dark, we will all face a storm. And storms, my friend, storms are messy. They are violently chaotic. And above all, they are so loud. Have you ever been in a real storm? It doesn't just rock your boat, it deafens you. The waves are crashing over the deck, the wind is howling, and suddenly you can't even see a foot in front of you. In your life, that noise comes from everywhere at once. The bills are piling up, the bad news just hit, and your own anxiety is roaring in your ears. One person is shouting, "Grab the steering wheel." Another is right there, screaming in your face, telling you what you should have done. You can't even hear yourself think. But my friend, in the middle of all that blinding, deafening chaos, you must stay steady. And something you have to understand right now, in this moment, is that it's not your job to fix the storm. It is God's job. Hear me out. We have grown up fixing things. The roof is leaking, fix it. The TV signal is bad, try and adjust the aerial. The fence is broken, work on it. That's what we are taught, and that is our very first response when the storm comes. But a storm is not a leaky roof. A storm is a force of nature, and you don't get to pick and choose the one you face. I was talking to another friend the other day, and out of nowhere, he lost his girlfriend to another lady. Imagine that shock. It might sound completely unexpected, but life happens fast, and that is the absolute worst part about storms. They don't ask for permission. They just hit you. And if you are a control freak, I know exactly how terrifying, how helpless that sudden loss of control feels. You are trying to steer a ship that is being tossed by the wind, and the tragic part is that the enemy waits for that exact moment. He jumps on you when you are already exhausted. He whispers in your ear when you feel like, if one more thing hits me, then that's it. I'm done. But I need you to hear this. All the fierce storms that have ever hit this planet, they all came to an end. I remember reading a heartbreaking story featured in the news during the sudden violent flash floods that hit New York a few years ago. The water rushed into those basement apartments so fast with such explosive force that it swept heavy furniture right across the room. A father was pinned against the wall by a massive dresser as the water rose, and he fought. He tried so hard, with every single ounce of his strength, to hold his baby up above the water, fighting against the crushing weight of that storm. Just let that sit for a second. When you hear a story like that, it just takes the breath right out of your lungs. It makes you realize how incredibly fragile our human strength really is. And that is the heavy reality of a true storm. Friend, storms are fierce. They are brutal. They push us to the absolute edge of what we think we can survive. But no matter how fierce they are, they come to an end. We can't do anything to stop the wind from blowing. So the only thing left to do is to face it, to push through it. Because in the middle of that furious storm, God is giving you an opportunity to connect with Him like never before. You can only get that close to God after you have suffered a while. The Bible says, "I will establish you." Only a storm can give you your anointing. So if you are in the middle of it right now, this is not the time to give up. This is the time to face it. I know Satan is telling you this is your fault. He's telling you that maybe you aren't smart enough or strong enough. But friend, it is not your fault. And after the wind dies down, there are things you will learn about God that you can only learn in this humiliation, in this grief, in this crisis. You can only learn about God in such a deeper way when they plot against you like they are doing right now. But after all is said and done, don't forget who Jesus really is. Don't forget that Jesus is in that boat with you, and there is no way that boat can sink with Jesus on it. I know the enemy is amplifying your situation, making it look bigger than it is. But God is saying, be steady, even if your emotions are all over the place. Even if your enemies surround you, you are going to be steady. Hold on to that wheel and keep on pushing for the other side. You are almost there, and I want you to know that God has equipped you with everything you need to rebuke this storm. So claim your power to cancel all the evil plans of the enemy. Don't panic. This storm is here to prepare you for what is coming next in your life. Be steady in the storm. And today, I want to do something a little different. Today, we aren't going to pray a traditional prayer, because I feel like some of you have been asking God to do something that He has already given you the authority to handle. I want you to use the power that God has already placed inside of you, and I want you to rebuke your storm. I don't know what that storm looks like for you. Maybe it's a doctor's report that keeps you up at night. Maybe it's a silence in your home where there used to be laughter. I don't know the name of your storm, but I know the power of your voice. I want you to rebuke it right now. If you are in your house, speak to the walls. If you're in your car, speak to the atmosphere. Whatever you are doing, stop trying to manage the wind and start commanding it to go. And I want to stand with you. I want to see what you are standing against. Go down into the comments right now and tell the world exactly what you are rebuking today. Is it fear? Is it delay? Is it that heavy spirit of stagnation? Write it down. Claim your territory. Because the moment you name it, it loses its power over you. Be steady. I'll see you in the comments. Bye, and lots of love.